Is your church aware of its mission to people groups where the gospel has not gone? Well, again, to make it personal, is my church aware of its mission to people groups where the gospel has not gone? So when I first read that question, immediately, at least at face value, I was like, I think my church is very well aware that the gospel needs to reach places where it hasn't gone before. But then again, really examining the question is, is your church aware? So sometimes, when people refer to church, in my mind, because I work in staff at a church, I think, okay, well, are my church leaders aware? Well, I would say, yeah. I think my lead pastor was a missionary in China for years, and my executive pastor has served on the board chair for EMM. We have other people on our staff who have also done various mission trips and served as missionaries. But the question isn't just about church leaders. The question is about your church as a whole. And I can confidently say that over almost 5 years that I've been here at CCF, we've had missionary leaders and leaders of missionary organizations and missionaries come and speak about the importance of sending and going and seeing the gospel reach. So I know that our congregation has heard those sort of messages, but there's a moment in my church that I think really strikes home to me. This is actually a time where the youth at my church, we took a trip up to Eastern Mennonite Missions headquarters. Actually, last June, we took our juniors, seniors, and college students, and they got to learn about the work that EMM does. As a super diverse church, as a church of African Americans, the church from people from Nigeria, the Ivory Coast, Kenya, the different countries in Africa, different countries in South America, a lot of times it is easy for us to celebrate the diversity that has come here, that, we don't think that we always have to go. And so I said it to say, when we sent our youth up to EMM headquarters, it really, I think met me in a place where, just because we serve what would be in a minority community here in the U.S., the minorities within our community are still called to go, right? Just because my church is predominantly minority community does not mean that even though we are the minority, that we're still not called to go, right? So I would like to believe that everyone in our church understands the importance of going and spreading the gospel throughout all nations, especially to those who are not aware. And as a church, we do support missionaries. We have sent out missionaries, and we support missionary organizations. And even my pastor serves on an international mission board. But the question is, does every member in my church understand? I don't know. I would like to say that I do my best to encourage my youth and help them see that, yes, there are places around the world that don't need the gospel. I think I do a pretty good job saying, hey, be that missionary in your context, in your school. But I can probably do a better job of saying, hey, there's this opportunity here for you to go and even take a gap year and spread the gospel, or for you to go to be trained to go meet those places where the gospel has not gone before. So again, I think in conclusion, my church body does a great job highlighting how the gospel has brought all the nations together. But maybe we can do a better job emphasizing our call to send and our call to go where the gospel has never gone before. Maybe that is a challenge of me thinking through this. Maybe I can talk more about those unreached groups, and maybe me talking about those unreached groups starts with me learning more about those unreached groups. So again, this is Joseph Alexander. That is my submission for this week's framing question.